Hey ladies, so this is our live event. Tonight we're going to be talking about top tips to improve your stress levels when you're trying to conceive. So I'm going to be just hanging out for just a minute to give everybody a chance to join. Of course, if you have questions and you'd like to post them in the chat, please do that, and I will try to answer them either during the live or towards the end of the live on the comments. All right, so take a minute to ask any questions you might have. All right, so I just want to thank you guys for joining me. I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing a Facebook Live series for the next 5 weeks on fertility health. We're going to be covering different topics related to fertility and natural health. So before we get started, again, please take some time to write any questions you might have in the chat, and I will be sure to answer them either during the live or after the live in the comment section. All right, so just take a minute to answer or ask any questions you might have. I hope everybody's doing good tonight. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Michelle, and I am a certified holistic healthcare practitioner, and I specialize in fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum care. Really, the main goal of what I do is to empower women to naturally take back their health, to jumpstart and really make improvements to their motherhood journey and motherhood goals. I truly love being able to share this information with you because I have seen personally how it has improved the trajectory of my health and wellness, as well as my life and my motherhood journey. Really, I wouldn't be where I am today unless I had this, and so it's so wonderful to be able to share this with you guys. So today we're going to be talking about the top tips for managing stress when you're trying to conceive. This is a top complaint I get from a lot of clients and a lot of women in general. But first I really want to start about. First, I want to start by explaining or defining what stress is. So the way I see stress is basically an event or change that causes us physical, emotional, or psychological strain. So a lot of times when I hear the word stress, I really associate this with like my daily or weekly to-do list, like going grocery shopping and getting the oil change in your car. Like this last weekend, on my way back from getting my oil changed, I got a chip in my windshield. Right, so it's just another thing to add to the to-do list that can really kind of stir up some stress, especially those unexpected things that happen. So all these things can create psychological stress with the thoughts that just run through your head constantly, daily. Oh, when I go to work, I gotta make sure I do this or do that. So you're constantly thinking of things that you have to do. So stress, though, can also be physical stress on your body, or things that you feel, like not getting enough sleep, having a headache, right? That causes stress for your body, clenching your jaw, digestive problems. There's other things too. But a lot of times we really forget about the emotional stress, and we kind of get stuck with that because it's harder to work on and it's harder to manage. So it tends to be the one that most people struggle with most, and I know I do. Like being angry with your partner. I mean, I'm sure everybody's angry at some point with your partner, or just having an argument in general with a person, whether it's family or friend or whatever it is. Or you could even be frustrated with your work colleagues. I know this is something a lot of people experience. It's not just me. But yeah, that does happen. And sometimes, especially when you're trying to conceive, a lot of women get caught up in that stress of the sadness that they're experiencing when they see another negative pregnancy test. That causes stress when you are, have a goal and you're trying to meet that. So here's the thing, right? Stress is not going to go anywhere, right? This is something that's always going to be in our life, no matter what we do. But what we can do is learn how to live with stress and learn how to manage these stressors that we have in our lives. So that's a good thing, right? We can change how we respond to stress. So before I really get into the stress relief tips, I just want to mention a couple different things about stress in relation to fertility. So first, and this is in response to Melissa's question yesterday about stress on our partners. I just want to thank you, Melissa, for asking the question, because this is an important one. It comes up a lot. And stress can absolutely affect both male and female fertility. So cortisol is actually one of the main stress hormones in our body. Both male and female have these. And it's released when our body is feeling stressed. So what happens is when this is released, it creates an interference with our sex hormones. This leads to, in women, suppressed ovulation, or in men, reduced sperm counts. There's other effects as well, but these are the main ones that I've come to find out and come to recognize. So our bodies really know that stress can affect a baby during pregnancy. So our body create a physiology basically that prevents pregnancy. So if you're super stressed all the time and you're not managing it well, your body's going to say, this is not a good time. So it's really important that you try to manage that. If you're struggling to get pregnant, I suggest this is the very first place to start for you and your partner. The good part is that you can really talk to each other and maybe come up with a plan, something that you can do together, or something that you can, whether it's just going on a walk at night together, something to really focus on those stress levels. All right, so let's get on to the tips. So tip number 1 is to basically reduce, your stress in your life. And this is something that can be a little bit more difficult than it sounds. Sorry, I'm like jumbling around with the camera here. But yeah, this one can be more difficult than it sounds. Really, if you have a job that's causing you a lot of stress, I would typically say, like, maybe you could try to find another job, but I know it's not easy, right? That might be something that's not an option. But if it's something that just makes you not want to wake up in the morning, it's definitely worth considering. But you could have other stresses in your life. Maybe it's a relationship. I feel like we all have those handful of people that we just don't really want to see a lot. This is just a normal thing. We don't get along with everybody. So, and some people are just, don't vibe with our energy, or however you want to say it, and creates just a bad relationship. So if this person's in your life consistently, you really want to try to come up with a way to maybe set boundaries and create space for yourself so that you can manage the stress of seeing this person a little bit better. Obviously I know these things are harder to change, but it's definitely worth taking a look at how to improve that. So tip number 2 is to change your mindset about stress or, stressful situations. The main key here is really to notice how your body feels, or to notice what your imagination takes you to. So it's good idea, when you're facing this situation, that you journal about how you can respond to a situation differently. Like if you're consistently overwhelmed by the amount of tasks that you have to do each week, you know, whether it's grocery shopping or getting your oil changed, like I mentioned before, you can make a list, right? Make a list in your journal and prioritize what's going to be the most important thing to you this week or this day, and try to look for, you know, the positives, right? What you did. Try to focus on what you did and not what you didn't do. I know I focus on what I didn't do a lot more than what I did, but, you know, just try to change that. Tip number 3 is to make a point to practice some stress relief. There's lots of options for stress relief. You can do yoga, you can go for a walk, you can exercise, you can meditate. Some people like acupuncture. You could do acupuncture. You know, taking a bath is another option. Breathing exercises are also really good for you. You can even just do that before you go to bed. You know, set aside 5-10 minutes, or when you wake up, 5-10 minutes. Or I've heard some people do this. When they get to work, they hang out in their car for like 5 minutes and just like, you know, do a little exercise then. And that would be a good idea if you really don't like your job. That would be a good time to do it. Yeah, so there's really a lot of options for what you can do. But the important thing is that you choose activities that you like and that you can work into your schedule. And obviously, when you find joy in something that you're doing, it's just going to be that much better. All right, so the last tip is something pretty cool. It's called EFT, and this is also known as the emotional freedom technique or tapping. I've tried this a couple times and it's pretty cool, and there's actually a lot of research behind it starting to come out about how it can really help people, particularly anybody with like, you know, like, I know somebody mentioned to me before, like with PTSD, this helps. So tapping is basically you tap certain points on your face. So it's like on top of your head. I think it's like above your eyebrow. And you tap these points and you repeat positive words as you do it. Or you repeat sayings as you do it to help, you know, limit that stressor. But you just repeat it constant. When you're tapping, you're hitting certain meridian points that are important for relieving stress. So this is like a really good thing to try. I'm going to share a link for a resource for EFT in the comments when I'm done. So definitely take a look at that if you're more interested in learning more about how to do that. All right, so that is all of the tips I have for today. So I'm really just going to check the chat for any questions here. And in fact, I'm not even really sure how to check, but I'll try here. All right. Okay. I think I checked it. We'll see. So, yeah, so again, that's all the tips I have. If you have questions or you need support in trying to come up with a plan, you know, comment in the chat and we can definitely work on that. All right. So one other thing I want to mention is managing stress with herbs, homeopathics, and supplements is something that I do with my clients, particularly in the pregnancy prep program, so that I can, you know, that we can better manage your stress. Sometimes people need more support with stressful situations, you know, but it's important to learn how to work through these and not be reliant on, you know, supplements or you know, herbs or anything, but they can definitely support you through your journey. So I encourage you to reach out if you want to find out anything more about the pregnancy prep program, or if you just want to chat about stress, that's fine too. We can do that. So really, I just want to thank you for watching, and be on the lookout for the invite to next week's part 2 in the Natural Fertility Series. And I'm going to be set up in my office next week, so it'll be a little bit better. I'm actually not home today. But yeah, so it'll be a little bit better when I'm in my office. I'll have a better setup. All right. So again, thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope I see you next week. See ya.